Well, we just played 7 innings of baseball, and luckily we have 7 more on the schedule, taking advantage of this glorious Saturday afternoon. The Beacons fell to the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors 6-2 in game number 1, and they hope that the pitching efforts of Emily Doble will turn their fortunes around in game number 2. Beacons still vying for their 20th win of the regular season. They are now trying to get back to 500 in LEC conference play, and lining back up again across from them, the now 27-win Eastern Connecticut State Warriors. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Del Sordo, back with you for game number 2. It was a 6-2 triumph for the ECSU Warriors in game number 1, and that was thanks to the pitching heroics of Alexis Michonne. She got her 14th win of the season in her 9th complete game, striking out 13 Beacons batters. She did allow 3 hits. All of those came in the game's 6th inning. Beacons pushed across 2 runs thanks to the 2 RBI double by Sydney Sandin in the bottom of the 6th inning, but that was really all the scoring in line for the Beaks. They pushed across 3 hits in falling 6-2. Offensively for Eastern Connecticut State, Cassie Woods went 3 of 4, scoring 2 runs. Brooke Matyasovsky hit her 9th home run on the season. Absolutely line smash over the wall deep down the left field line. And Carly Stoker, the 5-hole hitter, normally does a lot of pitching for the Warriors. She got the job done with her bat, 2 doubles in the afternoon. A lot of those names you will see again here in game number 2. And so let's roll through the starting lineups. First off, for the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors, Cassie Woods, the team's all-everything center fielder. She's now batting .520 on the season. She'll get the start in center field. Alexis Terrell, she went 1 of 3 in game number 1. She will be batting second, playing right. Brooke Matyasovsky and her 9 home runs on the season, the 3-hole hitter at first. Julia Sangiovanni, batting cleanup, playing third. Carly Stoker, the designated player, she will bat 5th. Morgan Bolduc will be getting the nod on the hill. She is 7-1 on the season. She's also a pretty good hitter. She bats 6th in the lineup today for the Warriors. Sarah Remillard getting her first start here, batting 7th, playing second base. Grace Leone, the catcher, wearing number 1. She will bat 8th. And then Laura Zenk, we saw her come in and pinch run in game number 1. She gets the start in left field, batting 9th here in game number 2. For the second day in a row, Maggie Rubeck, the flex player, she won't bat, but she will defensively play in the shortstop position. They will be going up against Emily Doble, a 5-win, 5-loss pitcher, making her 12th start and 15th appearance on the season for the Beaks. She enters action pitching with just a 2.5 earned run average. A nice job for Emily. Kind of unlucky in the win-loss department with those 5 losses, but a 2.49 earned run average. Emily's pitched 70.1 innings of softball. She has allowed 82 hits across those 70 innings. Walked 12, but struck out 34. Emily is in her sophomore season out of Danvers, Massachusetts. She will be caught by Tam Landry this afternoon. And we'll take a quick run around the diamond. Actually, that's Brie Melchionda in the pitching circle. So that was not quite sure of how I wrote down the lineup card, if we had that one right or not. But we're going to scratch all of that. It's the Beacons ace, Brie Melchionda, who we saw warming up before the game, getting the start today. Apologies for everybody tuning in. Let's run that back. So Melchionda starting in the circle for the Beaks, 8-4 on the season, vying for her 9th win, a stellar 1.35 earned run average. She's making her 13th start. She has gone the distance in 11 of her 12 prior starts. She has struck out 105 hitters on the season, numbers looking very similar to that of Alexis Michonne. But Morgan Balduck, no slouch in the pitching circle either. She's 7-1 on the season with a .55 earned run average. So we had a very fast-paced game number 1 that ended at 6-2. We have 2 stud pitchers in the circle here. Melchionda for the Beaks, Bolduck for the Warriors. So we might see our second straight very speedy game here at the UMB Softball Diamond. Really quick, behind Melchionda, we mentioned Tam Landry doing the catching for the Beaks. Kaylee Ruggiero at third, Sydney Sandin at second, Sydney Sandin at short, Haley Tilbury at second, and Jordan Toomey at first. So it is the same infield defense for the Beaks in the game number 2. Harlinsky, Perquette, Messier. So with the exception of Tam Landry at catcher, it is the exact same defense for the Beaks here in game number 2. Melchionda versus Bolduc. That is your pitching matchup. The Beacons 19-14, 6-7 on the season, vying for their 20th win on the year. Eastern Connecticut State just looking to keep their good thing rolling here. They won game number 1 to earn their 27th win of the year. They're looking for win number 28. Melchionda's first pitch is over the inside corner, and so we will get game number 2 started with a strike. And Cassie Woods, who is hitting over 500 on the season, now at 520. It's unbelievable just to say. She is up to lead it off for the Warriors here in this game number 2. Cassie showing bunt, that pitch missing outside. It tails away over the left-handed batter's box, so Woods pulls the bat back wisely. Cassie with an on-base percentage over 600 on the season. Count is even at 1-1 here. Melchionda, the super talented sophomore out of Marshfield, Mass, gets her sign, paints the bottom and inside corner, gets the call, and she's out in front of Cassie Woods, 1-2 here. Cassie just 5 strikeouts on the season for the grad student out of Mystic, Connecticut. It's a tough task to get her struck out. Melchionda is a pitcher that can do it. The 1-2 pitch, got her right down the pipe. Woods doesn't even take the bat off her shoulder. Well, that evens the count out at 2-2. Landry looks back towards the dugout to get the sign. Melchionda looks at her wristband, spins the ball on her right hand. 2-2 pitch misses outside, and that count goes full now, 3-2 for the first batter of this game number 2, Cassie Woods. We had a bright blue sky here for game number 1. It looks like some cloud cover sneaking its way in out here to us on the peninsula. Melchionda is going to do it again here with a count even at 3-2. Grounded right back to Bree. She doesn't even have to move. Squeezes it, throws it over to Toomey, and quickly, 1 up, 1 down as Woods is retired on a ground out to start the contest. Alexis Terrell following a 1-for-3 performance in game number 1. She's back up in the 2-hole here, playing right field here in game number 2. Alexis, a grad student out of Torrington, Connecticut. 1-for-3 with a hit by pitch in game number 2. She offered at that bunt. Melchionda had her guessing. She misses with the bunt. And a strike to start off the at-bat against Terrell here. We're in the top of the first inning in game number 2. 0-1 the count to Alexis Terrell. Bree Melchionda working quickly, winds, fires, and paints the outside corner with a strike. Took Bree 6 pitches to retire Cassie Woods, but 2 pitches and she's already ahead of Alexis Terrell. 0-2 here. Bree doesn't even shift her gaze from the dugout. Looks for the sign and just misses on that 0-2 pitch, missing low and away. Landry with a very nice frame, but can't get the called strike. So the count moves to 1-2. 10th pitch of the first inning coming up here for Bree Melchionda. Didn't really have any wind in game number 1. Now there's a little bit of a cool breeze blowing in on us here at the press table. That 1-2 pitch misses low for Melchionda. Count even again at 2-2. Terrell, just like Woods, very difficult to strike out. She's K'd just 9 times on the season. But Bree has an even count, 2-2. That one slapped towards second. Tilbury fields it, pops up, throws it to Toomey, and an easy second out of the top of the first inning, fielded by Haley Tilbury. So Cassie Woods grounded out to Bree Melchionda. Alexis Terrell grounds out to Haley Tilbury. And here's Brooke Matyasovsky. She was 1 of 3 in game number 2. But it was a 2 of 4 in game number 1. And that big hit, 2-run home run in the 4th inning, followed by a double later on in the top of the 7th. Matyasovsky really the premier power hitter in the LEC. 340 coming into game number 1, so she's a bit over that now. She now has 9 home runs, 33 ribbies. And that 1-0 pitch misses outside, and so she's ahead of Melchionda 2-0. You can hear right in this on-field mic a lot of chatter here from both dugouts here as that 2-0 pitch catches the outside corner. Great pitch by Melchionda to get herself back in this at-bat. Matt Yasowski still out in front here, 2-1. Spirits definitely high in that East Con dugout as they are now 27-4 on the season and 10-1 in the LEC Conference. That pitch misses outside, so it's a 3-1 hitters count coming up next for Brooke. For the Beacons, they are now 19-14 and 6-7 in the LEC after that Game 1 loss. Can still salvage a split here and get their 20th win of the season and get themselves back to 500 with a win. 3-1. A little bit of a late swing there from Matt Yasowski. She fouls it sharply down the right field line. That's actually bouncing around behind the fence there off the brick wall of the Clark Athletic Center. So the count is full. Melchionda's been battling here in this first inning. This is her 16th pitch. 3-2 pitch on the way. Paints the inside corner, and Matt Yasowski goes down looking. It is a 1-2-3, top of the first inning for Brie Melchionda. It took her 16 pitches to get out of it, but that is no concern. We'll head to the bottom of the first, still scoreless after Melchionda goes 1-2-3. "16 pitches, no hits, 1 strikeout. A solid line for Brie Melchionda to get her day started as the sophomore out of Marshfield, Mass, looking for her 9th win on the season. Beacons and Warriors scoreless here in the top of the first inning. 0-0. Warriors coming off their 27th win of the season, a 6-2 triumph over the Beacons in game number 1. It was Alexis Michon going the distance, spinning an absolute gem for the Warriors on the pitcher circle in game number 1, and they have maybe an equally talented option, the senior out of Vernon, Connecticut, Morgan Bolduc, getting the start here in game number 2. Bolduc, a .55 earned run average on the season. Once again, 7-1 in the pitcher circle. She's gotten a decision in all 8 of her starts. This is her 9th start of the season. 51 innings pitched, just 37 hits allowed across those 51 innings. It's just 6 runs allowed, and only 4 of them are earned. 8 walks to go along with 50 strikeouts. So a super talented pitcher out of Vernon, Connecticut in the circle. This time it's Morgan Bolduc. And Britt Burkett, she got a bunt single, which led to a run scored in the 6th inning of game number 1. She takes high on that bunt attempt in the first pitch and will start the game ahead of Morgan Bolduc, up in the count 1-0. Burkett, a senior out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, offers at it, bunts, and that will bounce foul. Nice job covering that play by Julia Sangiovanni. She was in on that in about 2 steps, but wisely didn't grab at it. There was a lot of topspin on that ball from Burkett. It was trending foul the entire way. So all that is just allowed strike number 1 of the at-bat. We're even here. Count 1-1. Burkett, a .289 hitter on the season. She went 1 of 3 in game number 1, so that average will just creep up ever so slightly higher than .289. Britt gets another hit here. She might be flirting with .300 on the season. She's behind in the count to Bolduc, 1-2. Morgan gets her sign. Grace Leone doing the catching here in game number 2 for the Warriors. She has to reach up as that pitch well up and away. Count back even at 2-2. Burkett, 1 extra base hit on the season. Go along with 12 singles. Slaps another one foul. And I think that one, well, it didn't hit off the catcher, Leone, but you can see Leone after the first foul, the way she popped up to cover that one that was spinning towards the line. I don't know if she might have tweaked something there. Count still 1-2. Another pitch from Bulldog. She takes something off that. It's going to be a slow roller. San Giovanni comes up and gets Perquette by a half step. What a great fielding play by the third baseman, Julia San Giovanni. Perquette thought she was safe, but no, out by a half step. One up, one down to get the afternoon started for Morgan Bulldog. Really similar look across the lineup for the Beacons between game 1 and game number 2. Haley Tilbury playing second, batting second. 0 for 3 in game number 1. A little bit late on that Bulldog fastball, and she fouls it off down the first base line, behind in the count 0-1. Melchionda took 16 pitches to go 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. It was a 6-pitch at bat to Britt Perquette, making Bulldog work a little bit. Morgan gets her sign, comes set, 0-1 pitch. Misses low and away, and so we're even again at 1-1. Sydney Sandin in the on-deck circle for the Beaks. She had the big hit in game number 1, a 2 RBI double in the bottom of the 6th inning. Count is even to Tilbury. That ball misses low and in, and Tilbury working her way into the hitter's count now, 2-1. Third best average on the team for Haley Tilbury. She has played in all but 1 game this year for the Beacons. She has started in all but 2. Bulldog asking for a new ball. And let's see if they keep that one in the rotation or if they retire it. No, it'll stay in the umpire's pouch here. So she's got a new ball. We've got an even count. Tilbury in the right-handed batter's box. Waiting for the 2-2 pitch. Bulldog delivers. Tilbury pops it up right towards us off the fence. Almost caught with a bare hand by the umpire on that play. I got to think if he gets that opportunity again, he's going to be ready for it. So we're still even at 2-2 here. Tilbury hanging in the box pretty well here, fouling off a bunch of pitches. Perquette was able to foul off 2 pitches when she was down to 2 strikes. 2-2 to the junior out of Moosic, Pennsylvania, up in the Pocono Mountains. That one is inside, painting the inside corner. Strike 3 looking. Bulldog gets her first strikeout of the afternoon. The Warriors throw it around the horn. Bulldog shares a high five with her third baseman, Julia San Giovanni. And now Sydney Sandin. It's up to her to get something going here in the bottom of the first. Sandin hitting .367 on the season. She's the only Beacon to play in all 34 games. She has started in all 34 of them. 34 hits on the year. 9 of them extra base hits. She has 7 doubles to go along with 1 triple, 1 home run, 23 RBIs on the year, leading the Beaks in that category. Behind in the count 0-1 here. Off-speed pitch that's floated. Thank goodness that our fans in this vicinity both had gloves, or else we would have been in some trouble there, as that one got over the fence, over the tent on a line, and almost hurt all of us, but we're all okay. Sandin fouls that one off, and quickly Bulldog is just getting right ahead of all of these Beacon hitters. She's up 0-2 on Sandin. That one is high, and that one came in with a lot of velocity, so it was a couple of off-speed pitches that Sandin was out in front of. That was a high fastball that misses, but that would have been hard to put bat to ball on that fastball there. Michonne, she had velocity. Bulldog not lacking in that department at all either. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and Morgan Bulldog shows how she got those impressive stats up to this point. Her 52nd strikeout of the season in just her 9th start. So that'll do it for the first inning. 3 up, 3 down both ways. We'll take a quick break and be back with the top of the second at the UMB softball diamond after this. Getting ready for the top of the second inning here at the UMB Softball Diamond. This is Game 2 of the LEC Conference doubleheader between your Beacons and the ECSU Warriors. We're scoreless, 0-0. Both pitchers' first innings looked very similar. Bree Melchionda, 3 up, 3 down, struck out 1 batter on 16 pitches. For Morgan Bolduc, 3 up, 3 down, she struck out 2 hitters on just 13 pitches. So both star pitchers just continuing their roles here in the first inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 up against Melchionda here to start off the second inning. San Giovanni, Stoker, and Bolduc, the third baseman, designated player, and pitcher, respectively. Sign is sent in from head coach Ardagna to the pitcher Melchionda. Bree comes set, winds, fires, and puts a fastball right over the middle that San Giovanni offered at but didn't go all the way around on, and it's quickly strike 1. Mentioned that Melchionda has gone the distance in all but 1 of her starts. The best pitching option the Beacons have, and she's 8-4 in the circle on the season. Another fastball. This one misses high. Nice job by Landry to pop up out of her stance there and just snag that one. But it misses high, and so we're back even in the count, 1-1. Julia went 2 for 4 in game number 1. She came into action in game number 1 hitting .417, so that batting average now probably in the 430s as she slaps that one off. Good contact, but a little bit late into the fence of the Beacons dugout. So the count now 1-2 against Julia San Giovanni. This is the 20th pitch of the afternoon for sophomore Bree Melchionda. Struck out 1 already. She has 106 strikeouts on the season. 2-2 pitch to San Giovanni is a beautiful off-speed pitch. Julia well out in front, and Melchionda records her second strikeout of the afternoon. And while we're tallying it, her 107th of the season. 4 up, 4 down for the sophomore. And it's Carly Stoker who had a big game in the 5-hole in game number 1. She went 3 of 4, including 2 doubles and 2 runs scored. Probably the offensive player of the game, aside from Matt Yasovsky in game number 1, was Carly Stoker. And she pulls the bat back. She doesn't offer, so she'll start off this at bat. Let's see if she went. Yes, she did. Never mind. So she offered at it, and that's going to be strike number 1 as Bree Melchionda has these hitters off balance here in the top of the second for ECSU. 0-1 the count is 2-3-5. The sign yelled in. That was a fastball that was right over the plate. Stoker was ready for it, but just a smidge late. She fouls it off down the right field line out of play, and it's quickly 0-2 for Melchionda against Stoker. This is the 7th pitch of the inning for Melchionda. Let's see if she can retire 2 big hitters with strikeouts in just 7 pitches. Misses that one up and away. Stoker not too bothered by that. Just 8 walks on the season for Carly Stoker. A bit of a feast or famine hitter. She has 13 hits. 6 of them extra base hits. She has struck out 12 times, hitting .255. So a lot of pop in that bat. She keeps it on her shoulders here for the second ball. Count is now even at 2-2. Every now and then you see Melchionda pitch with a more deliberate pace. She's working rather quickly for her standards at the start of this contest. 2-2 pitch. Melchionda winds, fires, misses up and away. So Stoker doing a good job here, just keeping her at bat alive. She fell behind 0-2, but 3 straight balls has the count full. Melchionda, very accurate pitcher, has thrown just 19 balls in comparison to 106 strikeouts. That one foul-tipped. Landry almost holds on to it, but instead it skips down past her. Foul ball will keep the count alive, and it'll keep it full at 3-2. Carly, a junior out of Sandy Creek, New York. One of 4 Warriors in their pitching rotation. We might see her pitch today, not scheduled to. Full count pitch on the way. Grounded softly to Melchionda. She comes up, fires to first, and gets her by about 2 steps. Bree Melchionda calmly retiring Carly Stoker, and it's up to the 6-hole hitter, the pitcher, Morgan Bolduc, to extend the inning for the Warriors. Whereas Alexis Michonne was a very solid hitting pitcher, batting about .280. Bolduc, a little bit lower in the order. 182 on the season. She has 2 hits in 11 at-bats up to this point on the year. Melchionda A little pitcher-on-pitcher, how do you do there? A fastball up and in that actually pushes Bolduc off the plate. Big smile on the face of Morgan Bolduc. She shares a laugh with her on-deck circled hitter, Sarah Remillard. You have two pitchers that both spin it. A lot of velocity in there. That seems like a nice bit of gamesmanship as that one slapped at, lofted out into right field, and settling under it and making the squeeze on it is Gabriella Messier. So 2 quick innings, 6 batters up, 6 batters down, and we will roll on to the bottom of the second. Here scoreless in game number 2. More softball after this from the UMB Softball Diamond on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Well, Bri Melchionda's impressive start continues through 2 innings. She is 6 up, 6 down across just 27 pitches. We saw a similarly impressive bottom of the first inning from the Warriors starting pitcher Morgan Bolduc. She struck out 2 in 13 pitches. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, Melchionda, Messier, and Toomey. They will go left, left, right to attack the fast-throwing right-hander Morgan Bolduc here to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Grace Leone, the starting catcher, looks back towards her dugout. Head coach Diana Pepin offers the signs. Melchionda into the batter's into the batter's box. Now let's see. Melchionda greeted Bolduc with a little up and in fastball the first pitch she saw. Bolduc misses low and away with a fastball, and so Melchionda, solid hitter, up in the count, 1-0. This is the 71st at-bat of the season for Bri. She's batting .314. 7 extra base hits for Bri, including a home run on the season. Took a little bit off that one and just ran the fastball away from Melchionda. It catches the outside corner, and Bolduc back even with her counterpart Bri Melchionda, 1-1. Bri, the ultimate weapon for this Beacons team. She has a 135 earned run average in the pitcher circle and a 314 batting average in the batter's box. Weak swing at that one. She misses, comes up empty, and she's behind in the count now, 1-2. Morgan Bolduc, an impressive pitcher, 50 strikeouts coming into action today, already with 2 this afternoon, looking for her third, and she gets it. High rise ball, fastball that Melchionda could do nothing with, and for the 3rd time already today, Bolduc has a strikeout, and it's against her counterpart, Melchionda. Morgan Bolduc has thrown just 17 pitches to get through the first 4 batters of this Beacons lineup. And it's the true freshman, Gabriella Messier, trying to change the tides of the Beacons' offense. Not a lot of the Beacons in game number 1, just 3 hits. They all came in that 6th inning. That ball slapped foul on the line. Had a member of the Warriors coaching staff almost snag that one with his bare hand. He couldn't field it, and then, let the friendly chatter begin between the Beaks third base coach and the Warriors dugout. 0-1 pitch to Gabriella. Beautiful off-speed pitch. Wow, she took about 20 miles per hour off that one, and Gabriella not ready for the off-speed pitch. It floats past her over the strike zone for strike number 2. It's a very impressive start for the senior out of Vernon, Connecticut, Morgan Bolduc. She goes back to the fastball here. Messier stays on it, puts the bat head to it, fouls it off down the third base line again. Once again, off the facing of the Beaks dugout. So we'll try it again. 0-2. The count to Gabriella Messier. And I think she offered it that one. Let's see. It was a fastball up and in. And yeah, Gabriella was just trying to get out of the way of that pitch, but The bat head went around the plane of home plate, which means she offered at it. That's a swinging strikeout, the 4th of the afternoon for Morgan Baldock, who is now just rolling here in the pitching circle. First baseman Jordan Toomey next up for the Beaks, batting in the 6th hole. She takes that one inside for ball number 1. Beacons just need base runners at this point. Toomey has yet to draw a walk on the season. Was hit by a pitch once. Slaps this one down the line. Great job at first by Brooke Matyasovsky. She just moves about 6 inches, reaches to her left, squeezes it, takes one step, and retires Jordan Toomey. So this game rolling right along. We will head into the top of the 3rd, still scoreless. Both batters yet to allow a hit. Let's see if that changes here in the top of the 3rd. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more softball after this. Still tied, 0-0. We're back here for the top of the 3rd inning at the UMB softball diamond. In game 1, we had a pitcher's duel that we really didn't expect to see. Now, we are in the middle of a pitcher's duel that was much more anticipated here in game number 2. Through 2 innings, Bri Melchionda, 27 pitches thrown, 2 strikeouts, which is super impressive. But you put it up to Morgan Baldock's numbers, which are even better. She's only thrown 22 pitches through 2 innings, and she has struck out 4 hitters already for the Beacons. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitter for the Warriors here. Sarah Remillard, Grace Leone, and Laura Zenk. And Remillard, the starting second baseman, seeing her first action in today's doubleheader, takes a pitch low for ball number 1. Sarah, sophomore, she can play all 9 positions for the Warriors. She's at second base today out of Grafton, Massachusetts. Takes that one that was running inside on her hands. It catches the inside corner, and we're back even with a count 1-1. Melchionda taking her time in the circle now. We've seen Bri work with a couple different speed paces. That one lifted into center field. Perquette barely has to move. Couple steps to her right, puts the easy squeeze on it. 7 up, 7 down. The easy afternoon continues for Melchionda, and it's going to be the 8-hole hitter catcher, Grace Leone, out of Brick, New Jersey, next up for the Warriors. Pretty solid contact out of Remillard in the 7-hole there, but Perquette was positioned nicely, barely had to move for the first out of the inning. Leone takes, and that pitch just misses inside. It looks like Melchionda really going after hitters on the inside part of the plate this afternoon. She missed that one just barely. That was the 30th pitch of the afternoon for Bri. 1-0 pitch misses outside, and so Leone, 2 balls to start her at bat. Grace playing in her 10th game of the season. This is just her 5th at bat of the year. She's 2 for 4, so an impressive 500 start to the season for Grace. Takes that one over the outside corner. So Melchionda paints the corner low and away and gets 1 strike back. It's 2-1. Two RBIs, too. So Leone, very impressive numbers and limited offensive exposure. That one just misses outside. I thought it caught the corner. So now Melchionda, her first little spot of trouble here. She's behind a hitter, Grace Leone, 3-1. I believe that's got to be the first time today she's fallen behind anybody, 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Melchionda gets her sign, takes a look at that left wristband, spins it in, and misses outside. So for the first base runner for either team reaches on a 5-pitch walk, and it's maybe a bit of an unusual suspect in the form of Grace Leone. That's just her second walk of the season, but she's on at first. We mentioned Melchionda, a very accurate pitcher. Just the 20th walk of the year for Bree. In comparison, 107 strikeouts already. So 5.5 times the strikeouts to each walk that she allows. 9-hole hitter Laura Zenk up here. She's playing left field for the Warriors in this game number 2. She takes over the outside corner for strike number 1. Zenk, a senior out of Herman, Maine. She came in as a pinch runner in game number 1. She was actually thrown out on the base paths. She doesn't offer. She keeps the bat on her shoulder for that 0-1 pitch, and it catches the outside corner, called strike 2. Quickly, Zenk behind 0-2 in the count. Zenk holding that white Easton bat, almost squaring to bunt. She pulls it back to her shoulder, takes that one low for ball number 1. That is a beautiful strike by Tam Landry. Grace Leone going on the play. Landry, that's catcher-on-catcher crime as she pops up and robs Leone of the stolen base. It looked like Grace got a decent jump. She was 1 for 1 on the year. Make it 1 for 2 now as she is caught stealing. And the count 1-2 to the 9-hole hitter Laura Zenk. Melchionda allowed a base runner, and just like that problem's taken care of. 1-2 pitch to Zenk. She slaps at it, just gets the bat to it, fouls it off, and we will keep this AB alive. Zenk, her 25th at-bat, hitting .208. She's 5 of 24. Coming into this AB. 7 RBI on the season for Laura. 1-2 pitch for Melchionda. Off-speed pitch. Zenk sticks with it. Able to just flip it up foul over the backstop. Landry gets the new ball, gives it back to Melchionda, and we'll do it again. Nice job by this 9-hole hitter, Laura Zenk. She fell behind 0-2. Has forced 3 pitches since from Melchionda. Bree gets the sign, comes set, vying for her 3rd strikeout of the afternoon, and misses just high. Count goes to 2-2, and we'll do it again. Bree struck out Brooke Matyasovsky on 6 pitches looking in the first inning. Then she struck out Julia San Giovanni looking on 4 pitches to start the second inning. We're in the top of the third now, scoreless. Zenk fists that one towards the shortstop, Sandin, who comes under, reaches up, squeezes, and gets the 3rd out of the inning for the Beaks. So Melchionda rolling right along. She allows 1 base runner, but then they throw that base runner out thanks to the caught stealing from Tam Landry. We're heading to the bottom of the third, still scoreless here at the UMB Softball Diamond. More after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. We're here in the bottom of the third inning at the UMB Softball Diamond, scoreless in game number 2 of this conference doubleheader. Your 19-14 Beacons looking for their 20th win on the year. Eastern Connecticut State 27-4 now after their 6-2 Game 1 victory. It's the 7-hole hitter Kaylee Ruggiero playing third base today, leading off the bottom of the third. She takes that first pitch up and away for ball number 1. Kaylee 0 of 3 in game number 1 with that ever unfortunate line of 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, trying to turn her fortunes around here in game number 2. The senior out of Southbury, Connecticut. She offers it that, and so the count is back even at 1-1. We're getting our third look at the impressive senior pitcher out of Vernon, Connecticut, Morgan Bolduc, making her 9th start of the season. She's 7-1 in those prior 8 starts. 0.55 earned run average. As she misses high there, that one just tips off the glove of Grace Leone. It kind of scatters back towards us. And Ruggiero ahead in the count here, 2-1. Kaylee, a 200 hitter. 11 hits and 55 at-bats coming into action today. Bolduc delivers. Big swing for Ruggiero. She tips it right into the glove of Grace Leone, and that'll even the count back out at 2-2. Ruggiero trying to avoid the dreaded collar across game 1 and game number 2. She reaches out, late swing on that, fouls it off. Off the fence in front of us here. Made some good contact on that one. That ball chipped some paint off of the fence in front of us here, and it's on our notes right now at the press table. Ruggiero hanging in there, even at the count, 2-2. Showing some good fight is the senior out of Southbury, Connecticut. Off-speed pitch, she stays with it, pokes it down the line, and it lands foul. It got down in front of the right fielder, Alexis Terrell, who was really stuck between a rock and a hard place in terms of if you want to dive out for that ball, you're going to run into one of your teammates. And she didn't know if it was going to land fair or foul. Luckily for her, it landed foul. Ruggiero just misses a shot at, that would have been for sure a single, maybe potentially extra bases. Instead, swings and hits that fastball from Bolduc deep down the line and right, tracking over and making an impressive catch just over the line. And in foul territory is Alexis Terrell. So she gets tested 2 pitches in a row, and she retires Ruggiero on the line out to start the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tam Landry catching for the Beaks, hitting in the 8th hole. The next batter up. She is making her 24th appearance and her 23rd start of the season for the Beacons. Just 7 hits on the season for Tam, but 3 of those 7 extra base hits. She has a double and 2 triples on the season. First pitch misses inside. Count goes to 1-0. Tam, a junior catcher. Ali Diuti got the start at catcher in game number 1 for the Beaks. 1-0 pitch. Fouled straight down for Landry. She was on it. Has a lot of speed out of that batter's box, but that one rolls foul. So the count even at 1-1 for the junior. Morgan Bolduc cruising right along here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Misses that one high. It's framed nicely by Grace Leone, but it comes in too high. So Landry ahead in the count now, 2-1. Looks back for the sign at 3rd base. She gets it. She's ready in the right-handed batter's box. Bolduc ready in the circle. Spins, comes set. Takes a little bit off that one and sneaks it under the top of the strike zone to even this count back out at 2-2. Bolduc has already struck out 4 hitters. This is the 8th that she's faced here in the bottom of the 3rd. Off-speed pitch. She took a lot off that one. Maybe an experiment there on what that pitch was. It kind of had some knuckle to it, but it bounces in. Nice job by Leone to go down low and cover it up. But it brings the count full. 3-2 pitch on the way for Landry. She takes strike 3. That one up and in. I think that was just the second out of the inning. I'm not quite sure how that happened, where every single player on Eastern Connecticut State thought that was the 3rd out. I think maybe Alexis Terrell said that was the second out after she caught the ball for the first out of the inning, because you can see Matt Yasovsky and Terrell sharing a laugh with each other. That's just the second out of the inning. It is the 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Bolduc, and it'll bring up Sarah Harlinski. It was Sarah who broke up the no-hitter in the bottom of the 6th inning, game number 1, with a bunt single. She ended up scoring on a 2-run double from Sydney Sandin later on in that inning. 5 strikeouts already for Morgan Bolduc. 2 of them looking, 3 of them swinging. Harlinski slaps at that one. Over the dugout, foul, and 1 hop off of the facing of the Clark Athletic Center, so she's quickly behind 0-2. Apologies. Count is even here at 1-1 for Harlinski, a senior out of Sturbridge, Mass. Best slapper that the Beacons have. She offers to bunt at that one. Doesn't pull the bat head back in time. It's now the count 1-2 against Sarah Harlinski. That velocity, so overwhelming from Morgan Bolduc that even just a true bunt attempt, it's not a guarantee that you're going to make contact with it, as Harlinski just offered at that bunt and missed, and you rarely see Sarah do that. So she's down to her last strike here. 1-2. Harlinski late swing, offers at it, fouls it straight back. Sarah, as she usually does, with a big smile there in the left-handed batter's box. Looking for a sign. Grace Leone takes a couple of steps out to relay the sign from the Warriors dugout into her pitcher, Morgan Bolduc. Bolduc spins the ball in her right hand before coming set. Off-speed pitch, it's tapped at. It's very close to a swinging bunt on the play by Sarah Harlinski, but it is a swing offer, so it's just a foul ball, and we'll do this again with the count at 1-2. 13 pitches in the first inning for Morgan Bolduc, 9 in the second. She's already thrown 16 here in the third, and she misses outside on that one, and the count goes full now to 3-2. Julia Sangiovanni, the third baseman, I think swore that pitch was going to be a called third strike. Not only did she run 2 steps in from third, she ran 2 more steps across the line before circling it back into the field of play. So we'll do it again. Full count now to Harlinski, and she got it. Struck her out as Harlinski had to reach out and defend that outside half of the plate, and it is the 6th strikeout of the afternoon for Morgan Bolduc. She's still under 40 pitches thrown. We will go to the top of the 4th inning. Still scoreless, 0-0. Well, we are headed into the top of the 4th inning here. We haven't seen all that much offense, really at all, with the exception of a couple of concentrated innings at all today. Game number 1, there was the big 4th inning for ECSU. The Beacons had a big 2-run 6th inning. That's it, and we've gone 3 innings of just absolutely nothing because both of these pitchers, Brie Melchionda and Morgan Bolduc, absolutely locked in. We will turn the lineups over for the first time here, and Cassie Woods, the big hitting center fielder, takes a nice slap swing at that one and fouls it back over the backstop and off of the fiberglass windows there over the hockey rink at the Clark Athletic Center. She grounded out back to Melchionda her first time up. This is a player hitting over 520 on the season. The 0-1 pitch, I think that was misexecuted there by Melchionda as that rolled in, it kind of bounced twice before it even got to Tam Landry, and the count goes back even at 1-1. Melchionda has walked 1 hitter. That hitter then was caught stealing. So looking at it, technically faced the minimum. Perfect game no longer in the works for Melchionda, but she can still throw a no-no. Already has one of those on the season. Tough task here. You got to get Cassie Woods out at least 2 more times to do that. She's ahead of Cassie 1-2 here. Woods, as we mentioned, one of 3 fifth-year player starters for the Warriors. Slaps that one to third base. Ruggiero gets eaten alive on the big hop, and runner will reach safely. Cassie Woods, a very fast runner, so we're going to have to wait on the official decision on that one. And it is going to be a base hit for Cassie Woods. You got to think even if Ruggiero got that one cleanly, it would have been a tough throw across the diamond. So that's the first hit of the afternoon for either team, and it comes in the form of a slap single for Cassie Woods to third base. Alexis Tyrrell grounded out to second base her first time up here, and she has the speedster Cassie Woods as the game's just second base runner. That one fouled. Beautiful job. Dropped down, covering in time with the throw. Haley Tilbury gets over there as Melchionda fields it and gets the throw over to first, but that moves the runner over. That's all Alexis Tyrrell wanted to do, and now you have a speedy runner in scoring position with just one out. Brooke Matisovsky, the big power-hitting first baseman for the Warriors. 2 hits, including a home run in game number 1. Squares to bunt here, and that pitch misses outside for the first ball, 1-0. Brooke, the only player in this contest who is now over 100 at-bats on the season. This is her 102nd trip to the plate. She pokes that one, pops it up, caught in fair territory by the second baseman, Haley Tilbury. And Matt Yasovsky, she's taken a bunch of big swings this afternoon. Made big contact twice, but that's her third pop-out. And now with 2 outs, it'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Julia Sangiovanni. Well, a leadoff single to Cassie Woods is dangerous, but now Melchionda, 3 pitches away from getting out of this little jam. Make it 2 as Sangiovanni fouls that one into the ground for strike number 1. Got to hand it to the Eastern Connecticut State dugout. They have been bringing the heat with their cheers all day long, and now they have just refashioned Just a Friend by Bismarck Key into just a hit, and I've never heard that before, and I got to say, big fan of that. I'll be upset if it leads to a base hit for Sangiovanni, but you can only do so much. Count is back even at 1-1 now. That off-speed pitch misses low. Great job for Landry going down to the ground and blocking it, keeping it in front of her. Julia, a senior out of East Haven, Connecticut, plays exclusively on the left side of the infield. Either does her work at the hot corner or at shortstop. 2-1 pitch. That one misses low and away, and so Sangiovanni sitting pretty here with a hitter's count at 3-1. Second best average on the team. One of 3 different players to have started in all 32 games this year for the Warriors. Full count pitch. Roped into the gap. And it gets down. It's fielded cleanly. We're going to have a throw home. Messier's throw is cut off, and it doesn't get home in time. That is going to be a run-scoring single by Julia Sangiovanni. Cassie Woods scores, and the Warriors take a 1-0 lead. Carly Stoker, no slouch at the plate either. The 5th-hole hitter follows up Sangiovanni after that base hit. Gives the Warriors a 1-0 lead. Melchionda comes set. Redelivers. That one's fouled off over our heads and off the storage container back deep down the right field line. Stoker, I mentioned, I kind of described her as a feast or famine type hitter. Only hitting .250 on the season. Fouled that one off right towards us, and that one just catches the corner support pole of the fence there, or else we all would have been dealing with a foul ball over our heads. But 2 quick strikes against Carly Stoker, 0-2. Describe her as a feast or famine hitter. She grounded out in the 2nd inning. Carly went 2 of 4, though, in game number 1. One of the best .250 hitters we've seen. That pitch misses. Well, throw back to first, and they almost get Julia Sangiovanni. Tam Landry throwing it well from the catcher's position this afternoon. She's already caught in 1 runner stealing. They almost had that throwback pickoff play work. Instead, it'll be another 1-2 pitch here for Brie Melchionda. trailing 1-0, trying to get out of the top of the fourth, takes something off, and that off-speed pitch is hit high and deep to left. It sends Harlinski back, and she catches it, running back to the wall, puts a hand to the fence when she squeezes it for the third and final out. So 1 run across, it could have been worse, but Melchionda gets out without much damage. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Beacons trailing 1-0. Well, it took the Beacons 6 innings to get any offense pushed across the plate in game number 1, and that was about 6 innings too late as the Beacons fell to the Warriors in game number 1, 6-2. All the hitters in the lineup have gotten 1 pass at Morgan Baldock, and so far they are 0 for 9. It is a perfect game being spun right now by the senior number 2, Morgan Baldock. 7-1 on the season, and she has faced the minimum. Struck out 6 of the 9 Beacons batters she has faced. Britt Perquette grounded out to third. Jordan Toomey grounded out to first. Kaylee Ruggiero lined out to the right fielder. Those were really the only 3 times we've had a ball put in play. So 6 strikeouts in the afternoon for Morgan Baldock. It's going to be Britt Perquette leading it off for the Beaks on her second time through the order. Beacons trailing 1-0 here, trying to avoid this doubleheader sweep at the hands of the conference's best team, the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors. She offers at that on a first pitch, misses the bunt attempt, and so she's quickly behind to Morgan Baldock, 0-1. Morgan took her just 39 pitches to get through the first 3 innings of work, and that was with a 17-pitch third inning. She threw just 22 pitches to get through the first 2. Misses outside on that next pitch, so the count back even at 1 apiece for Britt Perquette. Baldock asking for a new softball, and the ump obliges. He tosses that one aside, so that ball has seen its last bit of action. A new one into the rotation, and Baldock, the 1-1 pitch in the circle. This one popped up, being chased after by San Giovanni. She can't dive out and come up with it before it hits the ground, so that'll be a foul ball, strike number 2. Perquette, one of the few Beacons just making kind of consistent contact, fouling off pitches from Baldock. It's been that hard just to put bat to ball this afternoon. One-two pitch on the way to Britt Perquette. Swing and miss, and it is the 7th strikeout of the day for Morgan Baldock. First strikeout for Perquette, but it'll bring up Haley Tilbury, who struck out looking her first time up. 10 up, 10 down for Morgan Baldock, and now the junior Haley Tilbury next up to try and reverse the fortunes for the Beaks. Off-speed pitch floated in over the strike zone. It's such a drastic change in velocity. It's not like a regular changeup. You're either sitting on a fastball and you're ready for it, or you're not going to be ready for that off-speed pitch from Baldock. She gets that one over the strike zone. She's ahead of Tilbury 0-1. Does follow it up as you would expect with a fastball. Misses that one high, and the count goes back even. 1-1. Baldock with a bit of a sheepish smile there, looking back towards her catcher, Grace Leone. I think she's upset at herself for missing the strike zone there. 1-1 pitch. That one is lined right at the head of Sydney Sandin in the on-deck circle. She gets out of the way in time. It clangs off the fence in front of the Beacons dugouts. And I think just everyone's heart rate is that much more elevated now on the right side of the field. Tilbury, it looks like she almost just apologized to her teammate. You saw Sydney Sandin pull off what she's making it look like the Matrix move right now in the on-deck circle. Everybody's okay. We'll do it again now with a 1-2 count. That ball up and in. Tilbury takes. She evens it back out at 2-2. Beacons are only down by 1 here. It's 1-0 with the way Morgan Bolduc is pitching this afternoon. That looks like maybe an unassailable summit. 2-2 pitch to Tilbury. Off speed again. That one misses up and away. Leone reaches out and snags it, but the count is now full to Haley Tilbury, vying to be the first base runner of the afternoon for the Beaks. Count is full, 3-2. Tilbury, a .337 hitter on the season. Takes that one, and it catches the outside corner. Tilbury not thrilled with that call. You can see she thought she was reaching first base safely with a walk. Instead, she strikes out looking. What is new? The 10th strikeout of the afternoon. No, I got ahead of myself here. That would be the case if we were in the 5th inning. That's the 8th strikeout of the afternoon. Get this. Morgan Bolduc, 2 strikeouts in each of the first 4 innings. Sydney Sandin, she struck out swinging on 3 pitches her first time up. Had the big 2 RBI double back in game number 1. Let's see what Bolduc starts her out with. It's a fastball low and away, and it misses. Counts 1-0. Tilbury really thought that she worked that walk there to give Sandin an opportunity to bat with 1 on and 1 out. Instead, bases are empty, 2 outs, and Bolduc just rolling right on through this Beacons lineup. She misses that one inside 2-0. I think in a lot of other situations, you would give Sydney Sandin the green light here. I'm not quite sure if this is one of those. You just want to try and set the table as however possible. She does get the green light, and just a hair late on that. She fouls it right over the Beacons dugout off the wall of the Clark Athletic Center gym. She was right there, but instead fouls it off, and the count now 2-1. Sydney leading the Beacons in a litany of offensive categories. Average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, total bases, RBIs, you name it. It's probably her at the top of the list. She takes there and is in control of this count now, 3-1. With her dangerous pitching counterpart, Brie Melchiondo, waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-1 pitch to Sandin. Swung on, chopped right into the ground, right back to Bolduc. All she has to do is turn, throw to first, and the side is retired. Another perfect inning for Morgan Bolduc, who up to this point has faced the minimum. We'll head to the top of the 5th inning. Beacons down by 1. It's Warriors 1, Beacons nothing. Top of the 5th coming up next on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Back here at the UMB softball diamond, the Beacons fighting here to salvage a split in this conference doubleheader. They are now 19-14 after that Game 1 loss to Eastern Connecticut State, and they find themselves trailing 1-0 here as we roll it into the top of the 5th inning. Brie Melchiondo has been spinning a gem today, but she did allow 1 run on 2 hits in the top of the 4th inning. Julia Sangiovanni single to right. That's been the 1 run-scoring play in this contest. So Melchiondo, who more or less has been cruising through her first 4 innings of work, back into the circle for inning number 5. Sarah Remillard in the batter's box across from her. In the on-deck circle. This is the starting pitcher, Morgan Bolduc, and she takes that one low and in. Bolduc fought through her at bat in the 2nd inning before flying out to the right fielder. 182 on the season as a hitter. That one slapped down the line in right. Over the dugout, over the fence, out of play. First strike of the at-bat. Bulldogs still in front of Melchionda, 2-1. Two hits and 12 at-bats this season for Bulldog, and now she is in the driver's seat as she takes the 2-1 pitch low. She's out in front of Melchionda, 3-1. In her 11 at-bats, Bulldog has drawn one walk on the season in the batter's box. Melchionda looks at the wristband, comes set, winds, fires the 3-1 pitch. That one slapped towards the first baseman, Toomey, goes down to one knee, fields it cleanly, and takes a couple of steps to touch the base. Bulldog retired with one out now. And it'll bring up Sarah Remillard, the second baseman. So Melchionda, it doesn't look like that fourth inning is stuck with her. It was a tough one. Took Bree about 20 pitches to get out of. She faced 6 batters in the process and did allow 1 run. But a clutch ground out there against Bulldog. And now 7 and 8 due up next. Sarah Remillard up, takes that one outside for ball 1. She's a sophomore out of Grafton, Massachusetts. Didn't play in game number 1. Getting the start at second here in game number 2. That second pitch misses outside, and so Melchionda, a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone here as we get this 5th inning started. It's behind Remillard, 2-0. Sarah, a .356 hitter in limited at-bats this season. That 2-0 pitch misses low, and so Remillard probably going to get the take here as she's in front of Melchionda, 3-0. Remillard with 3 walks on the season. 1 for 1 on stolen base opportunities is Sarah. Beautiful off-speed pitch there. Melchionda needed to just get one over however possible. She takes a little bit off and puts it right down the middle. Remillard not thinking swing, and so the count 3-1. Landry checks back towards the dugout, gets her sign. Melchionda has it. 3-1 pitch. Slapped right back at Bree. And wow, that ball was hit hard by Remillard on the screws, but right back at Melchionda, who for the second straight time retires a batter on a sharply hit ground ball. 8-hole hitter Grace Leone, the starting catcher. She's up next. Leone walked on 5 pitches, her first time up, but she was then caught stealing while Laura Zenk was up. Melchionda winds, fires, catches the bottom of the strike zone for that first pitch for strike number 1. Bree only 2 strikeouts so far this afternoon. Grace Leone slaps that one. That is over the corner of the dugout, and then almost got some fans behind the dugout on the walkway there. Luckily, we have some fans that brought gloves today, and so they're putting in some good effort tracking down these foul balls for us. Melchionda can go to her put-away pitch here. She's ahead of Leone, 0-2. Leone squaring the bunch. He pulls the bat back on her shoulder. Melchionda can't get her to chase, and so we'll do it again. The count now 1-2. Leone 1 walk on the season in 4 at-bats. 1-2 pitch for Melchionda. Beautiful off-speed pitch right down the pipe, and that's the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Bree Melchionda. Not all that many strikeouts, but number 3 for Bree, and the Beaks are headed to the bottom of the 5th, still trailing by 1. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. It's Warriors 1, Beacons nothing. We're back here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Gabriella Messier at the plate for the Beacons. Beacons trailing 1-0 here. The middle of a gem being spun by Warriors starting pitcher Morgan Bolduc. Bat puts a ball there by Messier. She chops it right back to the pitcher Bolduc, who comes up quickly, throws it to first, and very quickly in the bottom of the 5th inning, 2 up, 2 down. Melchionda lined out her at bat, and then a ground out for Messier. And so it comes back to Jordan Toomey once again, trying to just extend this inning. Bolduc has still faced the minimum today at the UMB softball diamond. And it's 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. She misses outside with that one. And so Toomey, nice job just to get ahead of the count, if nothing else here. Just try and breaking up this perfection that we've seen so far out of Bolduc, who has still faced the minimum. That one comes low and in and catches the inside corner, and so just like that, we're back even at 1-1. Bolduc has struck out 8 of the 14 hitters that she has faced up to this point. Floats that off-speed pitch in that just misses the top of the strike zone. And so Toomey back out in front of the count, 2-1. Jordan, a junior first baseman out of Arlington, Mass. Played first in game number 1, but she wasn't hitting for herself. Is here. She's out in front of Bolduc, 3-1. That's just the second time that Bolduc has had a hitter with a 3-1 count this afternoon. Once again, a walk would break up the perfect game that Bolduc is currently pitching. 3-1 pitch, in and low. And the perfect game is no more. Toomey's patience gets the Beacons their first base runner of the afternoon, and it sounds like in the Beacons dugout, it sounds like a Beacon got a hit. But just a walk, but a timely one. And now it sets up Kaylee Ruggiero, who lined out on a good piece of hitting her last time up. She hit the ball cleanly off of Bolduc. Now there's a runner on the base paths here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. So the perfect game, no more for Morgan Bolduc, but the no-no still in order. Ruggiero slaps that one foul over the fence and out of play. Kaylee, the senior utility player out of Southbury, Connecticut. Oh, 1 pitch to Kaylee. That one misses low and away, and it gets away from the catcher, so Toomey is going to take second base. Jordan Toomey, not who you expect to see stealing. In fact, that's her first attempt of the season. So Jordan Toomey 1 for 1 on stolen bases, and now you blinked, you would have missed it, but the Beacons have a runner in scoring position now with 1 on. They're already down to their last out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They have a pitcher, Morgan Bolduc, who is not allowed to hit yet. And let's see, I do believe it's going to be a pinch runner brought in for the Beaks. Adriana Keefe, the super speedy freshman out of Revere, Massachusetts, one of the fastest runners on the Beacons team. With the runner in scoring position, they might as well bring the speedster to run. Coach Pepin still having that mound conference with Bolduc and the catcher, Grace Leone. I'm not quite sure if they're going to go to the dugout or not. So no, everything else remaining the way it is. The count is still at 1-1. Coach Pepin left her sunglasses there on the pitcher circle. And so Ruggiero, the only player to have really made solid contact on a ball in a play here in game number 2. She lined out to right field her first time up. All of a sudden, she's got a runner and a fast runner at that in Adriana Keefe in scoring position. So the count is 1-2. Let's see if the Beacons can scrap their way back into this contest. That one catches the outside corner on a beautiful fastball. And just like that, Ruggiero down to her final strike here. It's 1-2. Kaylee has struck out 9 times on the season. Slaps that one to third. It's fielded cleanly. They're going to throw across the diamond, and a beautiful throw by San Giovanni gets Ruggiero by a step. Well, the Beacons made it interesting there. They got a base runner, but the no-hitter for Bolduc continues. We will roll it over into the top of the 6th inning. Beacons trailing 1-0. Well, we're headed into the top of the 6th inning here at the UMB softball diamond. This game has seen just 2 hits so far, but those 2 hits are the reason why the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors are leading 1-0. 9, 1, and 2 to get us started here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's Laura Zenk, the left fielder, leading it off, followed by the top of the order in Cassie Woods and Alexis Tyrell. Bree Melchionda. Bree Melchionda in the circle for her 6th inning of work now. Once again, she's allowed just 2 hits and 1 run, has struck out 3 across 5 so far. Zenk squaring the bunt, pulls it back. That pitch misses outside, and so Zenk starts out front in this at-bat 1-0. Laura, a senior, she saw action in that first game coming in as a pinch runner. Takes a look at the 1-0 pitch, and that one does catch the strike zone on a similar approach there from Zenk. She pulled the bat back, but it was over the plate regardless. So the count is even at 1-1. Landry gets the sign from Coach Ardagna. 2-4-3 is the call on this pitch. Melchionda comes set. That's a beautiful bunt laid down by Zenk, but Bree fields it cleanly. Quick throw. Zenk hustling down the line, but she got her. Fielded, squeezed by Tilbury, and that'll be the first out at the top of the 6th inning. And back to the top of the order, and Cassie Woods we go. Cassie scored the lone run in this game number 2. She singled to lead off the top of the 4th, and then scored on a Julia Sangiovanni single to right. Only run of this contest. Melchionda's first pitch of the at-bat misses low and in. Woods got that single actually with a full count. It was a long at-bat against Melchionda back in the 4th inning. She really fought with her, really contested to earn her trip onto the base paths. Beautiful bunt. Let's see if it'll roll foul. No, that couldn't have been placed down better. Ruggiero got to it. It was still rolling a little bit, but it was not going to go over the chalk. That is a beautifully placed bunt single. And Cassie Woods really just showing all the tools that she has in her arsenal. She can hit for a little bit of power. She can slap. She can bunt. That's a bunt single. Her 2nd of game number 2. Her 4th hit of the day. And for the 2nd time in a row, she's on the leadoff. She's on with a single, to set the table. Terrell takes that pitch outside on the outside corner for a strike. Alexis Terrell hitless across 2 games of action. She's 0 of 5 on the day. Melchionda winds, sets. That one fouled straight back by Terrell. EastCon, I think, really limiting the options for all of their hitters here. Not giving the swing away to anybody. It's just been bunt central. Basically, since they took that 1-0 lead, figured you're not going to put the bat on a lot of Bree Melchionda's pitches. Might as well just try and bunt everyone over. 1-2 pitch, that one's lifted. Tilbury calls off Toomey. She runs under it, squeezes it right on the foul line for the 2nd out of the 6th inning. Brooke Batasovsky back up for the Warriors. Hitless in this game number 2. She had 2 hits in game number 1, including her 9th home run of the season. Off-speed pitch trying to get Brooke out in front. She takes. It misses low. Matt Yasowski hitting at .340. An unbelievable 19 extra base hits on the season. She's slugging .700 on the year, and she ropes that one, and it'll hang up, and it'll drop in front of Sarah Harlinski into the gap. Just back in time is Cassie Woods, as her and the shortstop. That's not Sydney Sandin over there. So I'm sorry, that's actually Haley Tilbury covering the play from 2nd. Tilbury and Woods sharing a laugh as Tilbury almost got that tag in on time, but that is the first hit of game number 2 for Paige Matyasovsky. It's just the 4th hit for anyone in this game number 2. All 4 hits collected by the Warriors. And now, 2 runners on and 2 out for Julia Sangiovanni. It was her hit that was the big blow in the top of the 4th inning. This game was scoreless with just virtually no offense. And after Woods got a single and stole 2nd, She scored on a base hit to right from Julia Sangiovanni. Julia takes that one low and in, and the count will be back even at 1-1. We mentioned for Brooke Matyasovsky in all of her superlatives, Sangiovanni maybe even a better hitter than Brooke. Julia hitting .412 coming into action today. She's now up in the 450s, and she has 5 home runs to her name as well. That one changes the eye level. Melchionda goes low to high, but Sangiovanni stays off of it. Melchionda maybe a little lost in the pitcher circle all of a sudden. She has 2 outs, but there's 2 runners on, and she's behind 3-0 and make it 4-0. She walks Julia Sangiovanni on 4 pitches. So the score remains 1-0, but Brie Melchionda going to have to work out of a bases-loaded jam to keep it that way, and it's Carly Stoker at the plate next for the Warriors. Stoker, just like Matyasovsky, 0 for 2 in this contest, but 2 hits in game number 1. The junior looks at that first one over the strike zone. Can't take the bat off her shoulders. She's behind in the count now, 0-1. The first 2 innings went by very quickly for Melchionda. Basically, all of the 5 subsequent innings have required a little bit more grinding to get out of it. That one called strike inside. The even count here from Melchionda. That one catches the strike zone. So how about that? 2 questionable pitches in a row. The first one looked like a strike, called a ball. The second one looked a bit outside, called a strike. But Melchionda in front of Stoker, 1-2. Carly with 12 strikeouts on the season. Puts a late swing on that one, floats it up foul and off the Clark Center out of play to keep herself alive. Melchionda, normally one of the premier strikeout pitchers in the conference, in the LEC, has only struck out 3 batters today. 1 strike from getting out of this inning and keeping the Beacons within 1. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one is smacked up the middle, and that's going to drop in. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score as Matyasovsky will score standing. And Carly Stoker's big day continues. She had 2 hits, including a huge RBI double in game number 1, and now a 2-run single here in the 6th inning to extend the ECSU lead to 3. It's Warriors 3, Beacons nothing, and we're going to have Morgan Bolduc try to help herself here in the batter's box with her Warriors leading by 3. For Carly Stoker, that hit is her 14th of the season. RBIs 17 and 18 on the year for the junior. And very clutch runs as it gives Morgan Bolduc, who didn't need any more support, a 3-run lead. And the senior out of Vernon, Connecticut now has a chance to help herself with 2 runners on. Stoker at first, Sangiovanni at second. And 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Melchionda jostling that ball in her right hand against her thigh, grabs it, comes set, and misses on the first pitch of the at-bat low. It's 1-0. Got a sense as if the wheels might be coming off a little bit here for Brie Melchionda. 1-0 pitch. That one misses away, and you can see Brie, I think she might be losing the grip a little bit here. She's kind of monkeying with her right hand even when the ball isn't in it between pitches. Just trying to maybe figure out something with that thumb or forefinger. You never know, blistering a problem for pitchers in baseball and softball. Big swing on that 2-0 pitch there as Bolduc wanted to do some damage. She fouled it straight down. And for the first strike of the at-bat against Morgan Bolduc. Morgan, good contact, both of her 2 prior at-bats. Yet to record a hit. Just a 182 hitter coming into action today. That one fouled straight back. She was right on it, but missed it back. 2 strikes now against the pitcher Morgan Bolduc, and once again, Brie Melchionda, a chance to get out of this inning. Hasn't been able to do it the past 2 times up. Count is even at 2. Pitcher on pitcher. It's the sophomore Bree Melchionda against the senior Morgan Bolduck. And she lines it right off the hip of Melchionda. It's going to get through first and second base. The runner on second, San Giovanni's going to score. And the runner running to third beats the tag. Stoker is able to get around the tag. San Giovanni scores for the fourth run of the afternoon. And Bolduck helps her own cause with a ringing line drive. And it hit right off of the left hip of Bree Melchionda, and it just kind of glanced off of her hip in between the two infielders at first and second. Mentioned, Bolduck was making great contact. That's the hardest hit ball that she's had all day. And for Morgan, that is her third hit of the season, and the third RBI of the season. So the pitcher helping her own cause. Melchionda, she says she's okay. She's going to take some warm-up pitches to make sure that she can stay into the contest. That was a nice job of hitting by Morgan Bolduck. You have to give her the credit there as she squared that one up, hit it on the screws, right into the left hip of Bree Melchionda. Now let's see if Melchionda can gut her way through it here. You use that left hip coming down to land after you finish the throwing motion. So the right hip, that one's needed a little bit more to generate your pitching power and whatnot, but for balance and whatnot, hard to pitch on a hurt hip. Bree's all right. She's gonna get back after it here. So the sophomore out of Marshfield, Mass, she puts the mask back on, and now she'll stay in the game, but we will have a meeting in the pitching circle. So we'll take a quick break here at the UMB softball diamond. We're not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere either. When we come back, this at-bat will resume. This at-bat will start. It's Sarah Remillard at the second baseman is due up to hit. I believe Melchionda is going to stay in. Let's see. Does our dog going to have a word here for the umpire on the play? I think not. So Bree's going to stay in. Beacon's just reconfiguring their defense here. Everybody sharing high fives. Eastern Connecticut State extends their lead to 4-0 off that RBI single from Morgan Bolduck. This game was 1-0. And a 3-run 6th inning now has the Warriors sitting pretty here. Sarah Remillard takes that right over the middle of the plate for strike number 1. So Melchionda feels that line drive and able to answer back with a strike right down the pipe. Remillard 0 for 2 today. She's flown out and grounded out. This one she rips deep to left center field. It's carrying and it's gone. Sarah Remillard following up an 0 for 2 start to the day, getting her first start of the afternoon here in game number 2. She clears the fence deep to left field for her first home run of the season. It's a 2-run blast. They share hugs at home plate. And the sophomore out of Grafton, Mass, goes yard and gets the home run chain and a big hug at home plate as the Warriors stretch their lead out to 6-0. We'll get a quick look at the lineup card, but there were 2 runners on there, so that was a 3-run home run for Sarah Remillard. It makes the score 7-0 Warriors. And the day comes to an end for Bree Melchionda. She was spitting a phenomenal game, had a no-hitter through 3, allowed 2 hits and 1 run in the top of the 4th, and then the 6th inning, it really got to her. 7 runs now, and so Emily Doble going to come in to finish this one out for the Beaks in the circle. So we'll take a quick break here as Doble takes her warm-up pitches in the circle for the Beaks. When we come back, we'll give you some information on the sophomore out of Danvers, Mass, who will be entering the contest. The contest that the Beacons now all of a sudden find themselves trailing by 7 at the top of the 6th inning here at the UMB softball diamond. Warriors 7, Beacons nothing. We'll be right back with more after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Well, we're here at the UMB softball diamond. Bree Melchionda's day has gone final. She goes 5 2/3 inning, allowing 7 runs. She struck out just 3 hitters. Tough performance for Melchionda, who was spinning a really good game through the first 5 innings, and then she gets touched up for 6 runs in this 6th inning. So Emily Doble now coming in for her 15th appearance of the season, her 4th appearance in relief. Alexa Boone, the freshman in batting for the Warriors. Or pardon me, no, this is Alexis Michonne, pardon me, the pitcher who did her damage in game number 1. Coming in to pinch hit now. 280 hitter on the season, so it's another pitcher-on-pitcher matchup. She takes a big swing, pops that one up over our heads. Almost fielded there by some of the fans behind the first base bag at Clark Athletic Center. And actually, that ball rolled under a storage container, so I don't think Michonne would be able to do that again if she tried. 4-1-3, the pitch signaled in. Emily Doble winds, fires, and that one came out of the hand funny. She misses high. Shares a smile with Tam Landry, and we'll try this one again. Yeah, Michonne hitting .273 coming into action. She was hitless in game number 1, but she did record her 14th win in the circle. Off-speed pitch just misses high and wide. And so we'll do it again. Michonne has 2 home runs on the season, 6 extra base hits in total, and she draws a walk. And so this doubleheader, which had both games just running along so smoothly, everything kind of clicking for both teams, all of a sudden the Beacons running into a lot of trouble just recording this final out of the 6th inning here. It's 7-0, Warriors leading. They scored 6 of their runs here in this 6th inning. Laura Zenk got this inning started, grounding out back to the pitcher. And so the Warriors, their 10th batter of the inning now. Already pushed across 6. Alexis Michonne in a pinch hit appearance, drawing a walk. She's on at first. Laura Zenk taking up and away for ball number 2. Tough spot for Emily Doble to get put into here. This her 15th appearance, her team high in appearance on the season. Trailing 7-0 and just trying to get out of this jam. That one catches the outside corner. She gets a strike back on Laura Zenk, the count 2-1. Zenk, her 28th game of the season, just her 7th start. She takes that one up and in. Eastern Connecticut, very patient eye at the plate all of a sudden here. Things change when it's not Bree Melchionda's velocity coming at you. 3-1 now. Zenk in a hitter's count. The 9-hole hitter. Keeps the bat on her shoulders. That one misses high. And now 2 runners on. As Cassie Woods is back up again. She has been the primary catalyst of this Warriors offense. She grounded out her first at-bat of the contest, but since has gone 2 for 3, scoring both times she has reached on her past 2 singles. Doble starts her off with a strike right down the pipe. I think Woods might have had the take on there as she took a very hittable pitch, but she's behind in the count 0-1. Zenk on first, Michonne at second. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Woods keeps the bat on her shoulder, doesn't offer. They're not going to ask the other umpire. So she evens the count back out at 1 apiece. That one also misses up and in this time, and so Woods now back in front in the count 2-1. Cassie does everything well at the plate. We mentioned the immense average, the extremely high average that she hits for. Also has a little bit of pop, 2 home runs on the season. She lifts that one to left. Harlinski a couple steps in, then a step back. She settles under it and puts the squeeze on it. But the damage has very much been done. 11 batters across for Eastern Connecticut State in the top of the 6th inning, and they score 6 runs. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. Beacons trailing 7-0 here in Game 2. More after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. We'll move on to the bottom of the 6th inning here. The Beacons trailing in game number 2 of this LEC Conference doubleheader, 7-0, thanks to a 6-run top of the 6th inning. That wasn't difficult enough. They are in the middle of a no-hitter from the opposing pitcher, Morgan Bulldog. She's allowed just 1 base runner, and that was thanks to a walk. This is the 8-hole hitter, Tam Landry, who struck out looking her first time up. She almost snuck a base hit down the right field line. It was fouled by a couple of inches. She struck out on the next pitch. Behind in the count to Bulldog, who is just rolling through this Beacons lineup. She comes set. Tam squares the bunt, misses it, fouls it straight back, and that's the second strike of the at-bat for Tam Landry. Landry, about 2 weekends ago, had a very solid doubleheader against Keene State that resulted in her average, which at the time was 188, getting over the 200 mark. She hit herself to the 203 mark at that point of the season. Did a bit of a rough go of it offensively lately. She's back down to 156 at the plate. She takes that one up and away, and the count back even at 2-2. Landry just trying to do her job here and set the table. Bulldog gets her to swing and miss. Another strikeout for Morgan Bulldog, her 9th of the afternoon. And it brings up Sarah Harlinski as the Beacons have been able to just turn their lineup over twice here against Morgan Bulldog. She's almost faced the minimum. Harlinski struck out swinging her last time up. Sarah hitting .310 on the season. Junior out of Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Takes that one outside. Gosh, it even feels like a rarity when Morgan Bulldog starts an at-bat with a ball. That is how locked in she has been all afternoon. That 1 walk issued, just her 9th walk thrown of the season. That pitch also misses outside. Good eye from Harlinski, taking those 2 outside pitches in a row. She's up in the count now, 2-0 on Bulldog. Once again, I've been keeping track of this here. This is just the 4th instance where a Beacons hitter has been up 2 balls on Bulldog. That's a good bunt from Harlinski, but the throw in time, and as fast as Sarah Harlinski is, that's as locked in as Morgan Bulldog is right now. She fields that one, had no time to waste, and got the fleet-footed Harlinski by a half step at first. And it's Brittany Burkett up for the 3rd time this afternoon here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Burkett grounded out to third her first time up. She struck out on 5 pitches her second time up. That ball misses low and in. Perquette trying to drag bunt there. She pulled the bat back. San Giovanni had a good read on that one. She was already shading pretty far in from the third base bag and took about 4 steps in before that pitch got to Perquette. Puts herself in a dangerous spot if Britt decided to swing away. 1-0 pitch just like that, what Britt did right there, and she fouled it back off the backstop. Leone retreats. She grabs it. Let's see if it passes her test. No, she's going to hand it off to the umpire. No, the umpire says, you know what, give it back to her. At this point, I don't think any ball that Morgan Bolduc uses is going to go not do what she wants it to do. She's putting everything right where she wants it to be. Count is even at 1-1 here to the senior Brittany Perquette. The 1-1 pitch from Bolduc, that one's grounded into the dirt for a foul ball. That was a bunt attempt from Perquette. Britt seems pretty determined to just try and get on with the slap approach. Behind 1-2 here. That one misses outside. Bolduc with 9 strikeouts here in this game number 2. Trying to hit double digits. She's K'd 50 batters on the season. This in her 9th start of the year. Bolduc gets the sign. Comes set, goes with the off-speed pitch, and couldn't get Perquette to chase. Nice thinking there by Bolduc, trying to run it low and away from Perquette, but Britt keeps the bat on her shoulders, even the count back out at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 6th inning here. Warriors leading 7-0 over your Beacons. Perquette slaps that one right back to Bolduc, goes to first, no wasted effort. And 1-2-3 yet again for Morgan Bolduc, who is 3 outs away from a no-hitter. We'll head to the top of the 7th inning. One more chance for Eastern to push across some insurance runs. How much more insurance do they really need? It will be, it's like the top of the order when we come back up here in the top of the 7th. So we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with our final inning after this here at the UMB Softball Diamond. Two, 3, and 4 due up here in the top of the 7th inning with the ECSU Warriors already leading 7-0. It's Alexis Terrell, I think one of the few members of this ECSU lineup yet to record a hit this afternoon. A lot of the Warriors' offense came alive in the 4th and 6th innings here in game number 2. It was the 4th inning where they did their damage in game number 1. Alexis Terrell up to bat, up against Emily Doble, who is in her 2nd inning of work here, relieving Bree Melchionda. Melchionda allowing 7 runs across 5 2/3. Doble allowed 2 runners to reach base before finally buckling down and getting the final out of the 6th inning. Terrell, batting .342 on the season, up for the 4th time in this game number 2, the 8th time today. Alexis, a grad student out of Torrington, Connecticut. Another pitch missing up and away for Doble, and it's quickly a 2-0 count to start the AB for Alexis Terrell. Ali Dayuti, she caught in game number 1. She is now in right field for the Beaks. Samori English, the designated player, now in at first base. Jordan Tubry and Gabriella Messier, their days are done. Big swing there for Terrell, trying to get a little lift under that one and give it a ride. Instead, she fouls it straight back for the first strike of the AB. Doble gets one back on Terrell, and it's 2-1. "26 hits on the season for Terrell, 20 of them singles. She has 6 extra base hits. She pops that one up. Towards Sydney Sandin, it's short. Harlinski coming on, but Sandin calls her off, settles underneath it, and puts the squeeze on it. That's the first out of the top of the 7th inning, and it brings up the power threat, Brooke Madyasovsky. We've already seen her go deep once today. She's up again with her Warriors up 7-0. So Terrell's day probably complete there. She will end her doubleheader. It's somewhat disappointing, 0 for 8. Nothing's really disappointing when your team looks to take 2. That one's blooped, and it's almost caught by Sydney Sandin on an over-the-shoulder effort. Instead, it is going to be another hit for Brooke Madyasovsky, her 4th of the afternoon. Her first of game number 2 as she reached with a walk. It was 0 for 2 in her first 2 prior at-bats. She's going to come off now for a pinch runner. And Julia Sangiovanni sharing a laugh with her teammate as she heads into the right-handed batter's box. Believe that looks to be number 6, Sophia Ville. I didn't quite check the number on that. So it's the younger of the Vilquez sisters, Sophia Vilquez, coming into pinch run. And Julia Sangiovanni, another at-bat coming up for the senior out of East Haven, Connecticut. Julia Sangiovanni, she had the big hit in the top of the 4th inning. That was when both pitchers were working on no-nos. After Cassie Woods led off the inning with a single and then moved to second, thanks to a Alexis Terrell ground out, Sangiovanni was at bat with 2 outs and slapped a base hit into right field. That gave the Warriors the 1-0 lead, and that's all they've needed. They've expanded that since to a 7-0 mark, but that's still the game-deciding hit. Oh, and that one running inside. The elbow guard on the left elbow of Julia Sangiovanni, so she didn't really make any extra effort to get out of the way of that one. She lets it hit her, and another base runner on here at the bottom of the 7th for the Warriors. Maggie Rubeck, who is in this game as the designated player, now into the lineup for Carly Stoker. So the designated player now getting the bat here. Rubeck started game 1 and played the entirety of game 1 at shortstop as well. Mainly used for her glove. She started 30 of the 32 games she's played in. She's missed just 2 games. Wow, and she puts a charge into this one in left field, but that one is caught by Sarah Harlinski. Runner tags on the play. The throw to third almost in time. Ruggiero puts the squeeze on it, but can't get the tag down. That is the 2nd out of the inning. Rubeck put a charge into it, but she comes up empty. And now Morgan Bolduc, the pitcher, trying to help her cause again, like she did in the top of the 6th inning. After the lead got extended to 3-0, it was Bolduc. She laced a single off the hip of Brie Melchionda, which led to a run batted in. Helped herself and gave herself a 4-0 lead, which was later extended to a 7-0 lead thanks to the Sarah Remillard 3-run home run. Bolduc with a hit today. Takes that one for the 2nd strike. I think Morgan might just want to get herself back in the pitcher circle here and get an exclamation point on the game she's currently working on, which, if you're just tuning in, is a no-hitter. Doble delivers. That one's ripped into right. Diuti dives. She can't come up with it. 1 run will score. Sangiovanni scores. And it is now 9 runs for the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors as Morgan Bolduc, for the 2nd time today, hits an RBI single, and she stretches the lead out to 9-0. Sarah Remillard looks to be getting pinch hit for, I believe. She hit a 3-run home run her last time up for her first home run of the year, but she heads back into the dugout. And I think we're going to see, that might be Carly Stoker. No, it's going to be number 12, Carly Gassaro, pinch hitting for Remillard. So if you're Remillard, that's a nice note to end the day on. She is going to end her day with a 3-run home run. And now Carly Gisaro, the junior out of Middletown, Connecticut, will see her first at-bat of the afternoon. How about this for numbers? Carly Gisaro on the season, this is her 5th game she's appeared in. She has 2 at-bats, 2 hits in those 2 at-bats, and an RBI. She is batting 1,000 on the season. Emma Sands looks to be coming into pinch run for the Warriors. It looks like everybody on the Warriors team getting an appearance here on the field in this game number 2. So Sands, normally a pitcher for Eastern Connecticut State, she is in her pitcher's jacket right now, not even in the normal uniform here, to do the pinch running duties. And Gisaro now up trying to continue what is a perfect season at bat. It's funny because Sands, not like she's pitching in the game. She just is a pitcher and is just wearing the jacket already. Didn't want to risk going out there with just the jersey on. It is, honestly, it's getting pretty chilly out here on the peninsula in the second half of this afternoon. Sara looks back. Big swing. She's just under it. Fouls it straight back for the second strike. Carly using the batting helmet used by Alyssa Vilquez. They've got the Canadian maple leaf on the back of her helmet. 2 strikes now against the junior. She grounds that one off the hands. It's going to have to be a quick throw by Tilbury, and she gets Gisaro by a step. But even more offense here in the top of the 7th inning. Eastern Connecticut State keeps it moving, and their lead is stretched to 9 thanks to a 2 RBI base hit by the starting pitcher, Morgan Bolduck. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Nothing really left in terms of drama except can Morgan Bolduck get that no-hitter? We'll see. Bottom of the 7th coming up next here at the UMB Softball Diamond with your Beacons trailing 9-0. More after this on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. We are headed into the bottom of the 7th inning, and the only question really remaining today at the UMB Softball Diamond, will Morgan Bolduck pitch her no-hitter? She is hitless through 6 innings. She has walked 1 batter, struck out 9, and she's done all that on just 85 pitches. The senior out of Vernon, Connecticut, back in the pitching circle. She'll have 3 big tests across from her. 2, 3, and 4 in the Beacons lineup. It's going to be Haley Tilbury, Sydney Sandin, and then Christina Panagiotopoulos going to come in and hit for Melchionda in the cleanup spot. Tilbury, Sandin, Panagiotopoulos, the 3 final hopes for the Beacons to avoid this no-no here in conference play. Also trying to avoid their 15th loss on the season. 86th pitch of the afternoon for Bolduck, and it misses just inside as Tilbury gets her at-bat started with a good take on the inside corner. She's up in the count 1-0. Bolduck has thrown 1 walk today. Just her 9th walk of the season. That one slapped down the line just a bit late off the bat of Haley Tilbury. It'll even the count back out at 1 apiece. Jordan Toomey drew that walk back in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bolduck was perfect through 4 2/3. But yeah, that walk allowed just the 9th of the season. for a pitcher who has thrown 59 strikeouts on the year. 1-1 pitch to Tilbury. That one an off-speed pitch. She reaches out, pokes it off the storage container to our right to keep it alive here. Gone through a lot of softballs here as they look back towards the Beacons dugout, just trying to get a game ball out towards the catcher. Leone gets it, likes what she sees, gets it back to Morgan Bolduc. And so Tilbury will head back into the right-handed batter's box, down in the count 1-2. Bolduc vying for her 10th strikeout of the game. She'll have to throw one more to try and get it, as that one misses very high. Tilbury 2-2 now. Haley was hitting .337 entering action today. Drawn just 7 walks. She reaches out, slaps that one back to Bolduc, comes up, who cleanly fields it, and gets the toss over to Brooke Matyasovsky at first. 19 hitters up, 20 hitters up, 19 hitters down for Morgan Bolduc. And now Sydney Sandin for the 3rd time today. She's had a couple of good at-bats here in this game number 2. She had the big hit for the Beacons in game number 1, a 2-run double. 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Morgan Bolduc just 2 outs away from her no-hitter. Beacons dugout just trying to keep some excitement, keep some momentum, some energy here at the UMB softball diamond. They're still full of chants, full of cheers here for Sydney Sandin. She pokes that one towards second. Really nice play by Sarah Remillard. As Sandin almost poked a base hit through the Warriors defense for the first of game number 2, but instead it'll bring up the true freshman, Christina Panagiotopoulos out of Lowell, Massachusetts, getting her first at bat of the afternoon here, trying to break up this senior's no-hitter. Christina playing in her 30th game of the season. She's missed just 4 games. She started in 28 of the 30 games she's played in, currently hitting .240 on the season. Takes a fastball low and away, and she'll get her first at-bat of the contest. Started with a ball. She's ahead of Bolduc in the count, 1-0. Bolduc comes set, 1-0 pitch. Right over the pipe. Christina back even now, 1-1. 18 hits on the season for the true freshman. 3 of them doubles. She scored 13 runs up to this point. 1-1 pitch. Right there over the outside corner. Beacons down to their last strike here as Bolduc has Panagiotopoulos on the ropes, 1-2. Christina leading the Beacons, unfortunately, with 22 strikeouts on the season. And she strikes out for the 23rd time. It is the 10th K of the game for Bolduc, and she does cap her no-hitter. It is a victory for the Eastern Connecticut State Warriors, their 28th of the season, and it is a no-hitter for Morgan Bolduc in the process. With the win, the Warriors 28-4 on the season. They move to 11-1 in the LEC. The Beacons, they fall to 19-15 and 6-8 in the LEC with the loss. Game 2 is final. Warriors 9, Beacons nothing. We'll come back. We'll give you a quick scoring summary, and then we'll keep it here for the senior night presentation here at the UMB Softball Diamond. I'll be right back with the scoring summary after this. Well, we have gone final on this doubleheader at the UMB softball diamond. The Warriors, they take both of the games from your UMass Boston Beacons, winning 6-2 in game number 1 and 9-0 here in game number 2. The win picked up by Morgan Baldock, and not just a win, a no-run win in the process. Her 8th win on the season. She moves to 8-1. Just the 5th loss on the season for Brianna Melchionda, the super talented sophomore out of Marshfield, Mass. She falls to 8-5 on the season with the loss. 9 Eastern Connecticut State runs, and we will tell you how they got them right now. Julia Sangiovanni single down the right field line, got the scoring started in the 4th inning, a game that didn't see any offense really until the 4th inning, and EastCon took the first lead, making it 1-0. There was a lot of offense in the 6th inning. It was a Carly Stoker single to center field that made it 3-0, and that ultimately led to the explosion of runs, because right after that, the pitcher, Morgan Baldock, her first of 2 RBI hits on the afternoon. She ripped a line drive. It was actually off of the left hip of Brie Melchionda. It let a run scored, and it kept 2 base runners on. And the very next hitter, Sarah Remillard, hit a 3-run home run, making it 7-0. 2 more runs crossed in the top of the 7th inning. Once again, thanks to Morgan Baldock. She pitched a no-hitter and had 4 RBIs, as she had a 2 RBI single to right field, scoring Julia Sangiovanni and Sophia Vilquez. One final note on Morgan Baldock's line: 94 pitches, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts. So the Beacons now 19-15 on the season, 6-8 in the LEC. Eastern Connecticut State 28-4, and they are 11-1 in the LEC. Time to give our thanks to the Beacon Broadcasting Network production crew. We could not have done that without them. Daryl Kornicki, our conference commissioner, our public address announcer, our official scorekeeper, and this broadcast producer. Thank you for everything you do. The director, Maria Spilios, and on the camera, Gina Albano, Danny Anderson running the music. My name is Chris Del Sordo. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday afternoon watching softball with us here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. Stick with us as it's time for our senior night festivities. We're not going anywhere, so you don't need to either. Take a look as we celebrate our Beacons seniors. One more time, game 2 is final. The Beacons lose game number 1 6-2. They lose game number 2 9-0. Time for some senior night festivities. You guys have a great rest of your afternoon, and roll Beaks.